Hello and welcome to a brief demonstration of the Cloud Ready module of Green Rain by Federate. This is the main dashboard of Green Rain. We've already got a number of applications that we've analysed, quite a range. Some of them are huge, nearly 1 million lines here, some of them not so huge. Different languages that Green Rain automatically detects by its deep learning engine as it looks through code. And it's important to stress this, that Green Rain is a static code analysis engine. It will go through your repository and learn things about your code and tell you about those things. Now for this demonstration we're going to look at Davical, classic web application, in this case, using a database, using session management, offering calendar server services. And Green Rain immediately tells you 28,000 lines across just over 1,000 files. That's not the biggest. It's nice and simple for us to use in this demonstration. It's all using one framework and language. The complexity and entanglement are interesting observations by Green Rain. This is the Green Rain engine looking at your code as if it was a human. So it's using algorithms to work out, for example, complexity. If I have to look at this code, is it really hard to understand? Has it got lots of loops and iterations and other complex structures within a code module? Entanglement is like complexity across the whole code base. So have I got a module called by another module, which is embedded by another module? That's really important to know, because you can imagine if you're going to change one module, which is depended on by lots of other modules, the chance, the blast radius of that change could be quite big, but also the impact of that, the benefit could also be quite large as well. Now, based on its findings and its analysis, Green Rain is telling us that there are some things it's found that it thinks need to be looked at. And when it uses this quite simple estimation effort, saying, look, based on the complexities that I've found and the speed and type and cost of people you've got, these are the numbers that I've come out with. And you can change all of these to reflect your real requirements. It's just an estimate to give you a sense there. Now, what is it actually found? So, the Green Rain engine has been taught to look for technical dependencies that will either break when you go to the cloud or their opportunities for optimization. It groups these into categories to make it easier for us humans to understand. And just looking at this one application, so we can see disk I/O. So there's some writing to local disk that might need to change when we're in the cloud, because our servers may be, for example, part of a auto scale in and out group. So servers are being created and deleted a lot. So if you're writing to local disk and that server is being deleted, are you losing those writes at the same time? And maybe you want to use some kind of distributed write mechanism. Same with email. Maybe there's an opportunity to use the cloud service provider's email, or if you want to use an existing service, make sure you're setting up the network security so you can access your email service. For example, if that's on premises and you're moving to the cloud, you're probably going to look at some kind of VPN or other kind of networking connectivity between your premises and the cloud. Framework's pretty simple with this app. It's just Apache, but again, that's good to know. Do we have the skills in Apache now? And can we do any optimizations for Apache in our target cloud? Logging is another one of those cloud architecture pieces where you might be logging to a local server, just the same as disk I/O. Maybe you want to look at the cloud logging service, so it's more of a distributed way. RDBMS always comes up in these applications. And again, there's a couple of important pieces here. One is if you're using, in this case, MySQL, which is very common, there's an opportunity to optimize here without really changing much code of using a cloud-managed RDBMS MySQL instead of your own. So you don't have to do any of the maintenance, installation, and all that other stuff, let the cloud provider do it. But there's also an opportunity to change database engines. Maybe you want to move from something like Oracle to AWS Aurora. That's going to flag up where the bits of code are. RPC middleware, again, can your things connect to each other in the cloud? Security, typically this is something like LDAP. It's if you're using an on-premises authentication server and you're going to run this in the cloud, how are those two things going to connect? Is there an opportunity to fix the network or to use a different service? And session is a really common one. So applications use session management to make sure they can store variables about each session. So when I'm logging onto my banking application, for example, all of my settings and how my session looks and works and always work from every request that I make. If the session management breaks, then the next time I hit and it doesn't find my session, I go straight to the logon screen again. And I start panicking because I'm a banking user and I'm thinking, where's my session gone? So session management is very important to get right when you move to the cloud. Now we can dig deep in these, so we can pick, for example, just pick on session management and ignore the rest. And it said it's found 6 dependencies. And when we look in those, out of the over 1,000 files, we really, in Green Rain, found 40 files we care about, and 5 of those are related to session management. So if we dig in technical reports, we can even go down to the file level. We can find where is that file, and you can see InkDev, so I can go into my IDE or GitLab, GitHub code commit and actually look through the code. And I can even do this in the product. If I click on session, click in session management, and I can find the lines that Green Rain found. And that's the same for database, disk I/O, and every other category that we saw. So that's a very quick demonstration of Green Rain's Cloud Ready module. You can see how it surfaces technical dependencies you need to care about, takes you right down to the code snippet level, and armed with this information, you've got a really good start at understanding your application from the perspective of doing cloud migration and application modernization.